Theodore. He's a tugboat and a friendly tugboat too. A friendly tugboat too. Oh, Theodore likes to do the things that friendly tugboats do. Pushing and a pulling in the great big harbor, in the great big world is so much fun. So many brand new things to discover. Waking with the sun, gotta get the job done. Oh, Theodore and Emily, Foduck, Hank and George, and the harbor master too.
I can't remember when there'd been so much fog in the harbor. It was like a giant cloud that came down from the sky. George had been away on a long ocean job, and he was telling the tugs all about it.
Oh, yes, I was up in the Arctic.
George boomed in his biggest voice.
That's way up at the top of the whole world.
Now, the other tugs always loved to hear stories about what it was like way out on the open ocean. They always seemed so exciting.
The water in the Arctic and icebergs that were even bigger than I am,
continued George, obviously enjoying his own story.
The Arctic, huh? You know, I'd really love to believe you, George, but just how long were you gone exactly? Never mind. As the dispatcher gives out the jobs for the day, he then says he'll be sending a tug to France to pick up a new barge. Foduck remembers it's his turn for an ocean job, but things don't go exactly the way he wants.
Emily,
said the dispatcher,
please leave for the ocean as soon as you are ready. That is all.
Foduck was startled. Emily? It was supposed to be his turn for an ocean job. Why had the dispatcher chosen Emily and not him? Just as Foduck was turning to go, the dispatcher called out in his most serious voice.
Foduck, I would like to have a word with you.
The dispatcher cleared his throat a little, the way he did when he was making an important announcement.
Foduck the Vigilant,
he began.
You are the only tugboat in the harbor with special safety equipment.
Yes, I am, replied Foduck.
Because you're special,
continued the dispatcher,
it has been decided that from now on, you will stay here in the harbor and be our official safety tug. You will begin your new job this morning.
Yes, sir, said Foduck in his bravest voice, but inside he began to feel terrible. All he could think of was those awful words. Stay in the harbor. That meant he couldn't go out on the ocean again.
Wow. Completely demoted to safety tug? What's the point of having a V word if you can't go out in the ocean? Poor Foduck. So after Foduck watches Emily set off for the ocean, he then sets off on his first safety patrol around the harbor.
Foduck floated along through the fog. Something could be floating in the water, he was thinking. And a ship might not see it through all this fog. That could be dangerous. Foduck listened carefully to his special sonar machine. Now, the sounds from Foduck's sonar machine told him if he was close to anything in the water. You know, even when he couldn't see it with his own eye. And right now, his sonar machine made a slow poing, poing sound. That meant there was nothing close by. Suddenly, the sonar machine began to poing faster and faster. It might be a dangerous floating log. Foduck turned on his special spotlights to help him see the log. But it wasn't a log. It was Northumberland's submarine, slipping silently towards his dock.
Foduck,
said Northumberland.
We submarines like to stay out of sight. Could you please turn off that bright light?
Sorry, said Foduck. I thought you were a giant log. Now, Northumberland wasn't very pleased to be mistaken for a log, and he floated off without another word to Foduck.
Yeah, okay, Foduck, 'cause logs are apparently long and black. Ugh. I've got nothing else to follow up with this, so let's just continue, please.
Foduck continued on his safety inspection. He was feeling a little foolish about what had happened with Northumberland, and more eager than ever to do something really useful.
What good is being the safety tug anyway? I've been everywhere in the harbor and there's nothing for me to do.
Foduck wished he could go out on the ocean. He stared sadly towards Rocky Point, where the harbor ended and the ocean began. Maybe I should check there, he thought. See, Rocky Point is a sharp piece of land that sticks out at the entrance of the harbor. It has a lot of dangerous rocks around it, and sometimes ships who don't know the harbor very well can come dangerously close to it. And there's probably nothing for me to do there either, he thought to himself.
I wouldn't be so sure, Foduck. You never know what could happen. With that said, Theodore and Hank are trying to bring in a ship but can't make their way through the fog. And what they don't know is they're heading straight towards Rocky Point.
Foduck was floating along when he heard it. His special sonar machine was telling him that something was out there in the water. And it sounded like something big, moving straight towards Rocky Point. Foduck knew what he had to do. That sound almost froze Theodore's heart. There was only one sound like it in the whole harbor. Foduck's special emergency whistle. You see, all the ships and boats in the big harbor are trained when they hear Foduck's emergency whistle to stop whatever they're doing and whistle back immediately. Now that says, I'm over here and I hear you. And that is what Theodore and Hank did. They whistled as loud as they could and stopped moving the cargo ship. The tugboats turned to see Foduck hurrying towards them, shining his special spotlights. And then they saw that they'd almost run right into Rocky Point with the cargo ship.
Foduck,
Shouted Hank.
you saved us.
I did, said Foduck.
But we still have to get this ship to her dock,
Said Theodore.
and it's so hard to see. How are we ever going to find our way through the harbor?
First off, glad Foduck saved everyone. Second, why are you guys so close to the point? As far as knowledge serves me, ships haven't sailed that close, especially in fog. Ah, well, at least everyone's okay, right? But the tugs are still in a pickle. How are they going to guide the ship? Well, Foduck just might have the answer.
Foduck led the way. He listened to his sonar machine to make sure that they weren't near any dangerous rocks. He used his special spotlights to help the tug see a little better through the fog. And every so often, he blew his emergency whistle to warn anyone nearby that they were coming. Soon the tugs were safely at the cargo docks with the ship.
Hooray!
Shouted Hank.
We did it!
Thanks to Foduck, smiled Theodore. You found us and brought us in with your special equipment. Well, Foduck smiled too. He had done something special, and that did feel great.
It's a good thing you were out on your harbor safety patrol,
Said Hank. Foduck didn't say anything. At first, he hadn't wanted to be the harbor safety tug. But now, well, things seem different.
Thank goodness everyone made it back safe. At least Foduck was beginning to see the light of things. See, Foduck? Maybe being the harbor safety tug won't be so bad after all.
The tugboats set off for the great ocean dock together. And just then, as if by magic, the fog lifted and the sun came out. Ah, it was a beautiful sight. There are the fairy twins, said Theodore.
and Constance,
Said Hank.
and Lily Lighthouse, too.
The tugs could see all their friends in the big harbor again.
You know,
Said Foduck, who'd been thinking very hard about something.
this harbor really is a wonderful place to be.
It sure is.
Agreed Hank and Theodore. And maybe, quite possibly, Foduck said quietly, it will be a wonderful place to be the official harbor safety tug. A wonderful place indeed.
And that concludes Foduck Stays Home. Alright, Kyra, your thoughts on this?
I really enjoyed this episode. In fact, this episode truly shows us just how much Foduck cares for his friends. Sure, he may be the serious tug he is, but he truly does care. The music is really good, And the story is really good too. I mean, come on. This episode will not be the last time we see Foduck truly shine. His vigilance is something that is definitely worth checking out.
I actually liked how they really brought out the message that everyone is special and unique in their own way. And one day, who knows, your talents might be of good use. I felt like Foduck was really relatable to a lot of us, since most of us do struggle with finding out what makes us all special. At least Foduck recognized this and is now totally fine with being the Harbour safety tug. Which, if you think about it, where this episode is set, Foduck was already the safety tug in previous episodes. So why show this one now? But anyway, as for visuals, there were no big landmarks to focus on, aside from the view of Rocky Point. And for music, the only major tunes to focus on were Foduck rescuing the others and guiding them through the fog, while keeping the familiar Theodore music. If anything, I'd recommend this to anyone who has these similar struggles, just like Foduck. Next up is Theodore the Tug in Charge.